Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're talking about yet another live-action Disney remake. We're up to what, like 3 coming out next year?
There's nothing but live-action remakes on the horizon.
So we've got Dumbo coming out, I think, in February. We've got Aladdin coming out in May. And then in the summer, they've got The Lion King, which we've already talked about.
Yeah.
And now the internet is angry.
When isn't the internet angry?
The internet is angry about the live-action Aladdin for multiple reasons. Now, the original outrage was that the actress Naomi Scott playing Jasmine is not of Middle Eastern descent. Now, she was Kimberly in the Power Rangers.
Right.
And she looks the part, though. She looks the part.
Does.
I definitely think...
People are mad about the costumes, too, but you pointed out, and I think it's interesting. Now, if you've been to the Disney parks, they have actually taken Jasmine's costume and actually covered her whole body, so she wasn't showing her stomach. And you said they met a kind of neat compromise on this.
Yeah, I caught this, and a lot of people didn't actually pick up on it. They actually did cover her completely, but they left the midriff kind of in there. They made it part of the costume. So she's got the traditional Jasmine look, but they also covered her up, which I think is pretty interesting how they did that.
I mean, it's interesting how they were trying to appeal to both, views on it. I do say there's a lot of boning in that.
You're not allowed to say that.
No, I meant in the no. In the top, those stripes you're seeing are boning.
Oh, okay.
That's what gives it its shape. And I'd hate to have to bend in that thing because you keep poking yourself in inappropriate places.
Anyway.
So that's not the kind of boning.
That's not the kind of boning we're talking.
The boning that you're not. Never mind.
About.
Anyway, so people are upset. Mostly they seem to be upset about Will Smith being Genie and looking human.
Yeah. So a lot of the comments about Will Smith's Genie were that it looked like a kind of a made-for-TV Disney Channel movie. They called him like a budget cut Sinbad.
Yeah.
It's an interesting look, but there's more to it.
Yes.
Than
he
that.
actually said on Twitter that he is going to be blue.
Or on Instagram.
Or Instagram. Okay, it's Instagram. Okay. He said he is going to be blue. That I think this is his human disguise or whatever, but they said he will be blue.
This is how they save money on CG. They have Will Smith be human.
Right.
On 3/4 of the movie so they can save money.
I think it's too early to tell on this one yet. Now, what got me though wasn't the images, wasn't all that. It was this article is what I was like. I started reading. I'm like, okay, because I think he looks like Aladdin. He sounds like Aladdin. He can pull off Aladdin. She can pull off Jasmine. Totally okay with that. And then when you start reading the article, I became less and less okay with it. First of all, who's directing this movie?
Guy Ritchie.
Mm-hmm. Guy Ritchie.
White Guy Ritchie.
Right, Guy Ritchie.
White Guy Ritchie.
He's a British director, and he's known for gritty thrillers featuring robberies, explosion, and car chases. So, of course, we're going to put him in charge of Aladdin.
Kaboom.
Kaboom.
Could have been Michael Bay instead. Michael Bay's Aladdin. I actually would go see Michael Bay's Aladdin.
Yeah, kaboom, bitch. So, anyway, we're going down through this, and it seems okay at first. And, everybody's kind of busting on Will Smith. I will say, Will Smith actually has a really good attitude about it. I think he goes on about respecting the old. Smith says whenever you're doing things that are iconic, it's terrifying. Yes, I would not want to do something that's an iconic role because you're going to get people mad.
Yeah, the Genie is one of Robin Williams' probably most beloved. I mean, of all the roles he's had, I mean, definitely the Genie is in the top.
Right.
The top 3,
so,
I think.
Right, and I think Smith actually is aware of that, and he said it's a terrifying thing to do. And he said the question is always, was there enough meat left on the bone? And Robin didn't leave a lot of meat on the bone with the character, which means I don't know if there's much you can do to make it better or improve upon it. And even in the video clip, he kind of is basically like, but his film was basically so perfect before. So I do like how his attitude is. He's not disrespecting the old one. He says he wants to do something that delivers an homage to Robin Williams, but is musically different. The flavor of the character will be different enough and unique enough to be in a different lane versus trying to compete. So he knows he can't improve it. He's trying to do something that's different because he knows, how are you going to follow that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge undertaking. And Aladdin just in general is kind of like one of those movies, if you're going to do a live action adaptation of it, I would kind of be like, maybe not that one. Maybe not that one.
But you know what? So I'm already kind of like, okay, he's showing respect. And I appreciate that. I was like, okay, they're not going to crap all over the original to elevate this one. I was like, yeah, so that's cool. And then I kept reading. And then it got worse. So then Ritchie comes in, And he says that that Smith's genie is more self-aware. I like the fact that our genie has an ego and is a little bit vain, and he cares about how he's presented because he's been doing this for a long time. Okay, I can even let that one go because it's like, I can see that. Couldn't you see that? I'm the flippin' famous genie. How do you not know who the hell I am? I can see it. Yeah. I can see it.
But there hasn't been a lot of that hip-hop flavor in Disney history.
But you know when you get Will Smith, it's going to have that.
Yeah, I know, but so I'm just trying to think.
I like Will Smith, so I don't think, in most things.
Okay, so the genie is going to be doing hip-hop. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, this could either go Hamilton or this could go 1990s PSA.
Well, I'm hoping it goes Hamilton. I'm hoping it goes Hamilton. Because they have the people who did the La La Land and stuff and The Greatest Showman and stuff. Some of the songs are on, they're doing the
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, then maybe,
so they have
maybe
new songs,
maybe
they changed it, so it wasn't bad. So they go on about the characters. They don't really talk much about, there's a Canadian, Egyptian, as I said, I don't want to say his name wrong, is it Mina Massoud?
I think so, yeah.
Who is going to be playing Aladdin, and British actress Naomi Scott she was in Power Rangers. She was Kimberly. She's playing Jasmine. But what gets me is they keep going down. Okay, well, Scott is Indian and British, and people had a fit because she was Middle Indian Eastern, yeah. And she wasn't what they thought. But she said, having a Disney princess that looks something like me, I think was really powerful. And I agree. I think when you have characters that you can relate to, that is powerful. So they're talking about, in one part of the article, about how it was kind of a feminist point of view because she didn't want to get married, and and she was kind of felt like she was, in a gilded cage and wanted to escape and felt suffocated. That was kind of who Jasmine is. So what I'm a little bit upset about is because later on they go down this part right here. This part really, they're talking about the new character. They're going to have Raja in it, and they're going to have a handmaiden. And
this one pisses me off.
This is the handmaid's comment. This is the handmaid's comment. Jasmine is so resilient and independent in this version. Did you see the original? She's focused on things other than which boy she's going to end up with. Again. Did you see the original?
Yeah, Jasmine was a very strong. So this seems to be a pattern, taking characters that were already, I guess, feminist, were already progressive, and then sort of smacking them down and saying, hey, they weren't progressive enough. They weren't feminist enough.
It gets better. So you had me at Will Smith being respectful, and then it just gets better. So then they go on here about they were considering Morocco for the shooting, but they realized that might hinder them and create a fictional Agrabah. So they wanted to be freer. I just didn't want it to be Moroccan. Okay, so they basically built a set in England for a lot of it.
They built a set in England. The white guy director is talking about how diverse his movie based on Middle Eastern folklore is, and he builds the set, films it in England with non-Middle Eastern leads.
Well, yeah, but people are mad about that. So both Disney and Ritchie had to tackle how to update Aladdin and its cast to avoid the cultural inaccuracies and insensitivities that the 1992 animated film fell into, such as depicting the street market seller's Agrabah as greedy and grotesque, or describing Arabia in song lyrics as a place where they cut off your ear if they don't like your face.
They cut that out.
They changed that years ago.
Yeah.
They changed that years ago. That's not new. And then they're talking about the film's ensemble does represent the diversity of the Middle Eastern and South Asian worlds. He's Egyptian Canadian. Scott is Caucasian Indian. She's British Indian. Pendrad is Iranian American, and the actor who's playing Jafar, who everybody's going to talk about Hot Jafar in a minute.
Hot Jafar.
Is Dutch and Tanzanian, and they're talking about how we've covered almost every continent, which is rare these days.
It's supposed to take place in the Middle East, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just confused.
I'm for diversity, but I honestly think the people they cast do seem to fit the roles. But I'm like, was they cast because they fit the roles the best, it was good for the storytelling, or they cast because they were trying to make sure that it was diverse? And I think you need to focus on story first. So then the person that was like on the set things drew inspiration from Moroccan, Persian, and Turkish cultures, Victorian paintings. That's an interesting mix. Ritchie was also assisted by an army of cultural advisors on set, adding to the film, while steeped in this Arabian world, is what he calls principally a human challenge rather than an ethnic one. Well, it should be.
But beyond that, this is not unusual for Disney. Moana, for example, they actually had Polynesian cultural advisors, and they changed some things. Like, I know some of the behind the scenes that originally Maui was supposed to be bald, but they said no, in Polynesian culture, hair is power, and he's a demigod, so you need to give him lots of hair. So they put the big, the mop of hair on him. But originally he was supposed to look just like The Rock.
Yeah, I'm not against having cultural advisors. I think that is a smart move, especially when you're dealing with cultures that are not your own.
And especially since it's going to come out in 2019, which may be more sensitive than 2018.
Right.
But
this whole idea that, somehow Jasmine was a stereotype of the time, they said that earlier in the article, and everything else, and she wasn't strong like she is now. She's well-rounded and a deep character, which is the same thing you heard with She-Ra. She-Ra's one-dimensional and crap, but now we have made it well-rounded by throwing in our buzzwords that suddenly makes the character better. Whether or not it is written better is irrelevant, but because we have these things in it, that makes it better.
That seems to be par for the course. It's like, the original is problematic.
Right. Always problematic. So at first I thought they were going to be respectful, but then I guess they didn't. So then the challenges that the individual has to transcend are the same for any ethnicity or culture. Yes. I'm loath to shine a light on culture or color or ethnicity because I feel as though it's shining a light on the wrong part of the stage. The question should be, how sensitive are you towards humans?
I'm okay. Yeah, I think, again, I'm because this is
you're making an issue that doesn't exist.
Right. This is my take on it. Either don't say anything and just move forward with the movie, okay? Or now that you're going to point out all the diversity, people are going to shine a light on white Guy Ritchie calling the shots on the show. So he's like, yeah, of course I don't want to shine a light on culture or color or ethnicity because...
But that's what you're shining a light on with this article.
Yeah, I mean, either just do it and be like, we're going to do the best job we can do. We're going to tweak some things that maybe were inaccurate in the original and whatever. If they're going to start playing the diversity card, I don't think this movie is going to make anybody happy because it already, from the woke side of things, is already kind of a mixed bag with the casting choices.
Yeah, actually, the people that you would think would be supporting this are the ones having the biggest hissy about it.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting too. And then you wanted to quote.
Well, I was going to say, and can I mention, you cast Will Smith, a black man, in the role of a genie, and the genie was a slave in the movie. Just saying, if you're going to be super sensitive, you might have wanted
he's blue most of the movie.
He's blue.
And actually, I think Will Smith actually has been the most respectful.
He actually has been. He has been.
I mean, of course, with interviews, you have to remember, this is Entertainment Weekly. We've seen what the Butch job they've done, other things. Of course, if you don't like She-Ra, it's because, the old was campy and you're crap and all that. They're going to pick and choose quotes that lead to what narrative they're trying to make. And so who knows what else. They could just be taking some things, out of context. They could be, asking for more quotes about certain things.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. It almost sounds like they were trying to press Guy Ritchie on the casting decisions, and he's kind of like, I don't want to shine a light on that. This is a human thing. Whatever.
I want to talk about the story, not about the culture.
Right, but they kept
made
pushing,
the article about the culture. So I'm not going to blame him for this entirely because I know how this works. You said you wanted to read his Smith's quote.
No, I just thought, because this is my first reaction when I heard Guy Ritchie. It said, Will Smith says, when you think of timeless Disney classics, you're not really thinking of Guy Ritchie, Smith says, but he brings a beautiful edge to the look and feel and imagining of Aladdin. Wish granted, and people are going to have a fit.
We'll go to the comments. The comments I found interesting. I'm sure there's more comments now. Oh, it's 146. There were 7 before.
Well,
wow. A lot of people were like,
I'll pass on a version
hopefully
with
Jasmine will be allowed to ride and steer camel. There were some ones that came up. There were a lot more than there were before. There were 7 earlier, and one was a woman, and she's like, "Why does every movie have to make this that's the most progressive female character ever?"
How did this get loud?
I don't know. Anyway, but my point is,
mess.
But I didn't know it was going to go this way, so we can go out of the comments. But one comment was on there talking about why is every Disney movie have to be the most progressive princess ever, and this is from a woman. To which a man said to her, "Well, it's shut up, you incels. It's for children. It's a kids movie."
A man told a woman who was complaining about why they have to make Jasmine even more progressive.
Incels need to shut up.
And he called her an incel.
Yes, incels need to shut up. But basically, the comment was in response to her. But incels need to shut up. It's a kids movie.
Oh my god!
And there was another woman who said something, and another man was trying to learn her again, because women that agree with the super SJW are okay, but women who question it, are clearly
you're clearly just a man pretending to be a woman, because women.
Your internalized misogyny, which does not exist and cannot exist, and no more. They keep saying that toxic feminism can't exist. Then neither can internalized misogyny. So. There. Okay, go ahead.
This is Hot Jafar.
Hot Jafar.
Hot Jafar.
Now, I will give it to them. The colors and the background stuff, they fused cultures, and it's beautiful.
It looks good. I mean, it looks expensive. I mean, people say it looks like a Disney Channel movie. I mean, I know with Smith being a human, that kind of cuts down. But you look at the sets, and I'm getting kind of almost like that Raiders of the Lost Ark vibe.
Yeah, no, I mean, Abu was a little weird, but
it's
okay, sure.
Uncanny Valley.
So it's okay. And then there's a new, handmaiden that thinks that Jasmine was just trying to figure out which hot guy to marry, which was not what the original.
That was not the point of the original.
Oh no, I know that was not at all. She felt like she was trapped in a gilded cage, and she didn't want to be forced to have the societal norm of being forced to be married. So she ran away. She wasn't, she left.
This girl's here to make sure she, makes
the right choices and is feminist enough.
Yeah,
okay.
She's feminist enough.
So this comes out on May 24th. The internet is not happy about most of it.
No,
it's funny, and people that you expect, like the Mary Sue.
Yeah, even the Mary Sue took it to task.
They were like, I don't know about their article. I didn't read it. I saw that they were on Twitter asking for comments.
Yeah, they're.
I'm sorry, that's so funny. Now this is a story all about how my lamp got stuck in a cave underground. I'd like to take a minute, just listen to me. I'll tell you how I can turn you into a prince named Dolly.
Oh my god,
that's funny. I'm sure even he'd find that funny.
He would find that funny. I'm like sitting here thinking like, oh my god, Will Smith is going to be rapping as the genie.
This is what I love too.
Aladdin.
Right, but I'll get it. Okay, focus, man. It's not that hard. It's about. I know, right? I love it.
Ventus is part of Sora's heart. That's why Roxas looks like Ventus and can have two Keyblades. One for Sora and one from Ventus. Ventus is back and wants to reunite with Ventus in order to open the Kingdom Heart.
I know.
And then it just stops.
I love it.
Look, Wild Wild West was not for everybody, but
I actually like Wild Wild West.
Oh, look, there is no Kanye West without the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. Poor Jazzy Jeff.
So that was a meme.
He doesn't get any love anymore.
So, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Everybody keeps saying about hot. They only want hot Jafar. They're like, which is kind of weird to me because it's like Jafar was supposed to be ew, and that's why they were like, ugh, when she kisses Jafar to distract him. But they made him hot. So now it's like, well.
Hey, they're doing a live action Tangled because there's Gothel.
Wait, she kind of does look Mother Gothel.
She does.
Kind of.
Oh my god, they gotta wait another 2 years for that one. As soon as they run out of old '90s movies, they'll start digging.
Why is Aladdin wearing a shirt and a vest? Same reason that Jasmine has her stomach covered up.
Because we can't see male nipples. Their cultural advisors told them it would be unwise to wear. So he's gonna be a sweaty mess throughout this whole.
Look, is this Guy Ritchie directed film going to be a mess? Probably, because Ritchie just added white men to it left and right.
Okay, I was kidding, but yeah, there it is. Like, oh my god, like Guy Ritchie's a white guy.
So the point is, you can't please people anyway.
Nah, this movie's not gonna make anybody happy unless it's really ridiculously good, which is possible. It's possible that it's going to be ridiculously good.
I think it's too soon.
I think it's way too soon. I think Lion King's too soon.
But I think when people
Beauty and the Beast was too soon.
I think it's too soon. I think we can't wait from these images. I do think that I was really, I was really happy to see that Will Smith was being like,
respectful.
Very respectful. He's basically saying, I know I'm not Robin Williams. But I'm different than Robin Williams, so I'm going to make him different. But I'm still going to pay homage to Robin Williams because I don't think, it's going to be, he didn't say better. He said it'll be different. He didn't, because he knows he's not going to make it better, but it might be as good, but it won't be better.
Yeah.
He said that, and I was like, so yes, thank you. You didn't have to shit on people to elevate yourself. You didn't feel the need to. But then Ritchie and them made up for it later on in the article. But
I know. Well, I think, I have to wonder if they didn't cherry pick his quotes, because it sounds like they're pressing him on the casting decision.
On that article, in this article, they're mad because they hired too many white people. But they said that in the like the bazaar scenes and the street markets, they cast a lot of people that were like Arab descent and Southeast Asian descent. And they said that they tried to make it very diverse and you see that, and there's a video on the Entertainment Weekly one. And so where are these white people being cast right and left?
I don't know. The only thing I get, like the behind the lens, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. But everybody's getting pissed about everything all the time.
Iago? Who did they cast as Iago? I forget who.
I don't even know.
That's just a voice. That doesn't matter.
So anyway, the only reason I mentioned them is because I saw when we were in the car that they were like opinions people. What, you weren't going to write your article? You had opinions on people to make sure they aligned with yours?
Yeah.
I mean, at least if you're going to say something and you have an opinion, you're going to put a piece out, own it. You know what I'm saying?
It's fine. It's all fine here.
Oh, here we go. It's not doomed since they decided not to cast a Middle Eastern Jasmine, but she looks like Jasmine.
It's been doomed. Doomed. Or a darker
Oh
skin.
God.
Still playing Western.
You know what? Whatever. I'm just so tired
Yummy
of it.
Jafar does complicate things. People are going to go see it just to see hot Jafar.
I
but
know.
they can't go to Tumblr to make lewd artwork of hot Jafar anymore.
Right.
Whatever shall they do?
I don't know.
Whatever shall they do? So we're not going to have as much hot Jafar.
But put it on Twitter.
Yeah, for now. Not going to put it on Patreon for much longer.
So, all right. So are we done with this?
Yeah, we are done with
I mean,
this.
I think honestly it's too early to tell. I think that the colors are beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, the cinematography looks good. That's always what you say about something when you have nothing else that's nice to say. Just, well, the cinematography was good.
Yeah, and like that one article about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then, but like, you know, not seeing Genie as blue yet, and they're not showing that yet. I'm a little nervous about.
I'm guessing the first, like, full-blown trailer, they'll probably show... Hopefully they keep the classic scene in where he, you know, pops out of the lamp and, he gets such a crick in the neck, you know.
I don't think
and
they're
that's the
going
first
to.
big reveal.
They said that
but-
he knows how to make an entrance. Will Smith knows how to make a Will Smith type entrance and stuff, so...
And that's a Robin Williams.
And he's mad because he's very, you know, you haven't heard of me kind of thing. So, I mean, which I can kind of see that. That's actually kind of fit. You know, I've been, you know, I'm a famous genie. How do you not know who I am? You know,
Yeah, well,
I
how
can
long has he
see
been in that lamp? Yeah.
I know, I can see that. But anyway, so it's too early to tell, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I gotta see another trailer.
I'm thinking his toes have to hurt in those shoes.
I don't know. They look ridiculous. I'm sure they're very hot too. Unless it's all green screen.
I do think it's funny though. They're turning that into a meme where he's like explaining something to him, and they keep inputting comments that are hilarious.
Oh my god,
I do love that.
That is funny. That might be the funniest thing to come out of this movie. We'll see.
We'll see.
we'll see what happens. Okay, so are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Let's wrap this one up. Clownfish TV. If you haven't subscribed to us already, subscribe for more pop culture news, views, gaming videos, rants, art videos, and more. This has been Young and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye.